So Blue Origin, not going to go deep. Look at this video here. This is actually quite interesting. We have a lot of stuff to see. I just picked out a couple of moments I want to share, react to. We're going to address the conspiracy charges that are going all over the place about how the door was opened at the end, which people, I think, seem to people love to just make these wild leaps of how that somehow indicates that the whole thing is fake, or that but it does indicate that they were stage managing the production, because these are billionaire capitalists trying to benefit, maximize their profit, as well as this is how Jeff Bezos, spends his winnings, as he called it, all the money that he had when he first started to do this Blue Origin stuff. And people often point out too that the rocket is shaped, and it's just like, well, they all are. There's a reason bird wings and bat wings are kind of the similar. It's just that a cylinder with a rounded shovel on the end of it, right? A conical top, useful shape, just happens to be good for hydrodynamics as well as penetrating the atmosphere. So this is it. It landed. They're doing these reusable shit. Here, let's just watch it come down and land. And then we're going to watch the ladies. This is the big one where Katy Perry, Gayle King, a bunch of the crew here. They call them crew. That's a joke. Aisha Bao, Amanda Nguyen, Gayle King, Katy Perry, Kerianne, Flynn, and Lauren Sanchez. Lauren Sanchez, I believe, is Mrs. Jeff Bezos. So here's the thing coming down.
Its engine. We're going to also see a sonic boom. We're going to hear that shortly here.
And remember, this is something that had never been done before until just a few years ago. Truly the stuff of science fiction that you're about to watch in just seconds.
In terms of the economics, reusable fuselages is a big deal. There it is. Big strong burn right at the very end. Ooh, we're gonna fuck up the moon so bad with these. All the flights that they want to do onto and off the moon. Moon dust is a massive problem. Moon dust is electrostatically charged, uneroded, which means it's super gritty. It's sharp. Earth debris and dirt, sand is getting blown around by wind and water and all kinds of shit. So it's always rubbing and it gets smoothed out. You can find certainly little sharp bits here and there, but like the moon dust is very fine, very sharp, goes everywhere, difficult, and there's far less gravity, and rocket thrust, that propulsion is going to blast that shit all over the place. It's a massive engineering problem. There's experiments with doing like suits that the astronauts wear. Those guys got sick. It gets in your lungs. It clings to everything. It wore holes in their like space suits because it's super abrasive. So moon dust is one of those, like, this is also sort of relates to the Mars missions that are going to go on. I mean, there's more erosion on Mars because there's wind and sandstorms and stuff, but the dust effect, the having to deal with these different planets, your moons, I know, but like these different environments, these different ecosystems, ecos maybe not the right word, but creates all these interesting little things that we wouldn't necessarily consider. And moon dust is one of those big ones that people who follow science news like I do are up to speed on. But they're going to have to come up with ways of building rocket pads that are really wide, maybe. And yeah, but it's a huge deal. But that just showed you, like, the way this is Earth, obviously. You could certainly make dusty shit happen on Earth. Booster touchdown.
And booster touchdown, welcome home, New Shepard.
That's what I say when I have sex. It's been so many years. Oh my God. Now, the capsule, which I think they nicknamed, trying to think of a wiener joke that wouldn't get me canceled. Let me just skip ahead here.
So those are like the
okay. So what's great here, I'll shut up. I probably won't, but they had the audio playing from inside the capsule. And remember, our crew, these, I think 2 of them are actually like real scientists, but our crew, these 6 brave astronauts who penetrated space, they took up space. That's their slogan. We took up space. That's what they're promoting it. You guys doing fine on Earth, okay? The rich people, you got enough fucking space taken up down here, okay? Could we just back off that shit? Anyway, you can hear him screaming like crazy inside this capsule as it's coming down, and it goes through a couple of stages of release. So it's falling pretty fast. Free fall can't be a very comfortable feeling inside one of these things. I mean, maybe they're still feeling, but I doubt they're feeling very comfortable. I can't necessarily fault them for screaming. I might be screaming myself, but it's pretty funny.
All right, shortly here, we're waiting to see the drogue parachutes deploy from the crew capsule. Those are like the guide parachutes. There go the drogue parachutes.
So you hear, now, an explosion just happened. This thing, I think they have explosive bolts. I don't know the engineering of this one precisely. But in space travel, a lot of times they have bolts that are designed so they can release things quickly. Of course, that sends debris out there, too. The debris issue surrounding Earth, near Earth orbit is another one of those major engineering problems. It's probably going to cause a lot of major issues. But let's just back it up 5 or 10 seconds. That's 10 seconds. Let's go again.
All right, shortly here, we're waiting to see the drogue parachutes deploy from the crew capsule. Those are like the guide parachutes. There go the drogue parachutes.
Just free falling right there until those drogues came out.
And then
So
next will be the main parachute.
The parachutes are going to catch the wind up there, but those parachutes are just to pull out the main parachutes, from what I can tell. And then, but they go through like another sort. So now they're going a little slower than free fall. So, but in the moment between these parachutes pulling out the big parachutes, they have to free fall again, because suddenly all the aerodynamics don't work for it anymore. So it goes to an acceleration moment before the big ones catch. So then, so it's sort of like this weird drop. Again, I don't blame them for screaming. It's like being on a crazy ass roller coaster.
Parachutes that get pulled
Right here.
out.
So
That screaming inside the capsule.
critical moment though. If those parachutes don't catch properly or they get twisted or something, big trouble. And wouldn't that have been nuts if the guy's wife got flattened in his space company ship? I mean, they've done a bunch of these flights before. If you just go to the Blue Origin website or on YouTube, you can see all these other flights and shit. None of that's fake. So let's watch this part again. We're back up 10 seconds.
Next will be the main parachutes that get pulled out.
That screaming inside the capsule.
And all 3 parachutes reefing.
And then it slows down to a gentler speed, which probably is when they can breathe a little sigh of relief too at that point. It's got to be an intense thing, man. I hate these fucking ruling class monsters. I hate these people, but I can still watch this as if, human beings in a very strange thing currently. I want to watch that one more time. 10 seconds.
The capsule.
And all
10
be the
seconds.
main
Here we go.
parachutes that get pulled out.
That screaming inside the capsule.
And all 3 parachutes reefing.
There we go. So now I'm not sure their speed. They land. I do want to see the landing.
All of this simulations going through I have gone through all of
Double
this
speed.
training. They put you in the capsule that simulates all of this, including the sound, and when you hear the motors of the parachutes pop out, that is the best moment in flight.
Because I know Blue Origin does everything they can to make this as safe as possible, and y'all have an impeccable safety record, but it still has to feel really good when you know that you're coming back to Earth with those parachutes fully deployed.
Now, if one of them pooped, this is the part where the poop would not be. They'd be realizing it. So here it comes. Now watch it. It'll hit. I thought that it landed hard when I first saw this. It actually does a sudden deceleration boost right before it lands. So it has some thrusters below it that go and creates this pillow that it lands on. Probably still kind of a jarring landing, but because even just imagine falling off your bed. I mean, you can get hurt tripping and falling from a standing height or just rolling off your bed, right? It's easy. Humans we're tough in a lot of weird ways, but we're also super fucking squishy in the scale of physics. When that CEO guy brought with the billionaire, and the only sad one was the kid, the 19-year-old son of but that Titanic, what's it called? Ocean Gate. I did a bunch of stuff on the channel about that. the physics that they were playing with were very, very, very scary and dangerous, which is why you got to get it right. And they didn't. And but not, by the way, not a bad way to die, being compressed like that. Just your nerves don't work as fast as the moment of death. So I would take that, to be honest. But anyway, so we'll watch it as it lands and just we'll probably go through it again. But as it hits the bottom, right before it hits, you'll see like the thrusters below the thing go off.
Of the launch pad coming down softly and beautifully. 500 feet.
300
and you
feet.
will see a puff of smoke when it touches down. A puff of dust. That's normal.
A puff of dust, last milliseconds. Air cushion that will kick up the dust. It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is.
It looks kind of hard still, doesn't it? This is screaming. Ugh, God, these monsters. So here.
That will kick up the dust. It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is.
Yeah, even watching it again, it still seems pretty rough. But we're gonna go real slow. It's gonna be awful. Let me.
The dust.
Okay, muting it. Hang in there. It's coming up. So yeah, she did refer to the air cushion, and you know, the screaming's fine. It's kind of funny, just because it's like. I'll edit it back one more time here. Okay, we're gonna go frame by frame. It's paused, one frame at a time. Got to give YouTube a chance to catch up here. Maybe it's 60 frames. All right. It's like 2 buttons per press to get it to go. So any second here. Double tap. Getting better at it. Come on. Come on, I got people. They're about to stop watching. Boom. Okay. See, so it's not. I can actually go backwards. I don't know why I was being so. Look at that. One frame. Boom. So you see, there's like this downward push. It's probably 5 feet off the floor, off the ground. More. And so, yeah. I imagine it's softer than it looks, just because that air push sends all the dust around. So then we go, ah! My friends will be so jealous. This is what being wealthy is all about.
Touchdown. Congratulations, and welcome back to Earth.
I'm going to make pillows out of those parachutes for my sons.
Do status check. Double shot.
All right, good job. Now, let's jump ahead to the opening.